Welcome to Serving Pancakes with League One Volleyball. I'm your host, Tiffany Oshinsky, and I'm inviting you to join me as I go behind the scenes with some of the most important people in volleyball. From funny anecdotes to words of wisdom and some fun facts sprinkled in about your favorite sport, Serving Pancakes will satiate your appetite and have you asking for seconds. So take a seat while I serve you up some pancakes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Come on in. So excited you're here.
You.
Hi.
Hey.
So happy to see you.
Good to see you.
Have a seat.
Okay. Ooh, what do we got?
We got some delicious pancakes because it's breakfast at Tiffany's time.
Nice. I like that.
So I got to ask you to start because, we got fresh pancakes. If you were creating your own signature pancake, can you show me with, we got raspberries, blackberries, all the fruit, and then we got the sweets, the chocolate chips, the Nutella, the syrup, the butter. If you could create your signature pancake, I got to know, what's the Jordan Larson special?
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm a sucker for some chocolate, so I would probably... Let's see.
Let's see.
All right, so I would probably put a little Nutella on there, kind of spread it around. Let's see if I can do this. Just enough, not too much, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I would probably do a fruit. So I'd probably do some strawberries and get it kind of healthy, right?
Chocolate covered strawberries.
I know, right? It's a good combination. Mm-hmm. And then I would probably just top it with a little bit of syrup.
Ooh.
I know.
I'm going to copy. I'm going to make exactly the same as yours.
It's kind of weird, though. I don't like the syrup to go all over.
No, that's not weird because I'm actually exactly the same way. It's like just a touch of syrup to give it that little bit of sweetness.
Yes.
But I don't need a ton.
No.
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
So I love the strawberry Nutella. But I will also, I kind of will switch it up whenever I feel like blueberries a lot.
Yeah.
If you can get one of those lemon ricotta blueberry
my gosh.
pancakes, which...
so good.
So good, right?
Oh, we're diving.
I didn't add my syrup though. I need a little dabble.
A little bit of something.
A little bit of boop, right on the strawberry.
Oh, it's so good.
So Jordan, you had an amazing career. You still have an amazing career. I don't want to end it right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough to condense everything that I want to talk to you about in this.
We could be here for hours.
Exactly, we could be. I would love to have a whole day of this. But we're going to start back at the beginning, the very beginning.
Okay.
When you were born, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm curious though, before volleyball, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, goodness. Well, my dad was a teacher, and so I think I ultimately kind of wanted to follow that path. Now, what that looked like, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that's kind of generally, I think I actually have a letter that I wrote to myself, I'm going to be a teacher one day, way before. But ultimately, I always just really wanted to be a professional athlete. But I didn't know what that looked like or meant. So yeah, I would say a teacher. My dad was a teacher.
What kind of teacher?
He did gen ed. So he taught a lot of AutoCAD and kind of very applicable things that a lot of kids, maybe if they didn't want to go to college, that they had for other things, construction, all that stuff. So that's kind of what he did. And then he taught driver's ed as well. He taught me how to drive. So all the successful driving is on my dad. So yeah, I know it was cool.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
I read at one point you wanted to be an Olympic gymnast. Is that true?
Yeah. So one of my very first memories of the Olympics was in the kitchen with my mom. She would always be cooking and I would be sitting at the bar, and we had this white TV that kind of swiveled, and the Olympics were on, the gymnasts were flipping around, and I was just, at that point, I was doing gymnastics, and I was like, oh, this could be enjoyable. And then I grew over 6 feet, and then that dream ended. So, no, but I just, watching them, it was just amazing, what they're doing with their bodies and their minds. And I don't know, it's just really intriguing. So it's kind of started that initial thought and dream. So
is that the Magnificent Seven, Carrie Strug, Dominic Dodd?
Yes, it was Dominic Dodd. Yeah. Yes. Wow. Gosh, that was long.
I'm right there with you.
I was
the same age.
Yes.
Same
All right.
age.
So we can, at least you can remember. Yeah.
Oh, I remember because I was a gymnast too.
Okay,
So I know
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Same dream.
Yeah. Mine ended a little, I did it a little different, but still on a similar path. So, yeah.
So when did you get introduced to volleyball?
Oh, goodness. So actually my parents, I think did a great job. They kind of threw me in a lot of things. So I started out with soccer, gymnastics. I tried everything. I was in the band. I played the piano. Because I had really long fingers. So my mom was like, you're going to learn how to do that. And that was not my forte. So, and then volleyball started, my dad was a basketball coach. And so I played softball as well. So just kind of really got a taste of everything. And then I really fell in love with volleyball. And then that's kind of when, club volleyball has been around for a while, but the talk wasn't, especially in small town, I didn't really hear about it until I was kind of turning 12. And that's when I really started diving into more of that. But I really just fell in love with the sport. So,
speaking of small town, your town was what, 800 people?
Yeah, 800 like 50 something, 58 or something. Yeah, it's crazy. I know. It's still, I actually just went home like this last week. And it's weird to think that like that's where it all started. Because I was so nervous and scared to leave. I was scared to leave the state. When you're born and raised there, you have a great sense of community, and I just feel very lucky that the roots started there and kind of got to expand. So, but now I wouldn't change this life for anything, and I'm just really grateful for my parents to keep encouraging me. And if it was up to me, I probably would have stayed home and not left. So,
is that part of the reason why you wanted to go to Nebraska?
Yeah, it was just an easy choice for. Obviously they're a very well-known program, very good. They were number one when I went there, and and I just wanted my family to be at a lot of games, so it was really just an obvious choice. So, and the state just really loves Nebraska, so it was quite easy. So
seriously. So let's talk about when you were in high school and the recruiting process. When did you know that you were like
different,
beyond?
I don't know when that actually hit. I think I was just in general just a good athlete. Again, I did all these other sports, and so. And I think my parents really did a good job of even doing extra. Like I was doing like speed and agility. Like I was trying to do other things outside just sports. And, I think when, I was actually talking to a coach of mine from the past, and they're like, at every club tournament, they're just like the court just surrounded, like with college coaches and like eyes were on. And so, I would say probably my freshman year, maybe 8th grade year was kind of when I was starting to realize that maybe my dream of being a college athlete was going to come true. And, that's a long time ago, honestly. I don't really remember. So,
well, let me ask you this, because you came from such a small town. Where was your club team in relation? Did you have to drive far?
Yeah. So my first club team was actually Premier Volleyball Club, and it was in Omaha. So Omaha is about like a 45-minute to an hour drive. So, and if you're practicing twice a week and then tournaments on the weekend, like that was a long time in the car. So, again, grateful for my parents for, one, the financial sacrifice and also just the time commitment. So I also remember we bought a Suburban because it allowed me to like stretch my legs in the back, like as we're traveling, and obviously lay down and be able to get some sleep while we're traveling. So I'm just really, really grateful. So
when I was playing Chloe, I had to drive 45 minutes to an hour also to get to my team. And my mom bought the minivan with the TV and the VHS player.
Oh, the VHS.
Game changer.
It really was. It is. It's crazy. Yeah. I had the portable one, like the portable DVD player for a while. And then I think we did finally upgrade to the one in the car. So,
with the wireless headphones. I was like, this is luxury. But I'm short, so it was easier for me to fit in.
Yeah. No, it was great. Yeah. And my parents didn't like to fly, so it was just like we're road tripping all the time. So if we played in Minnesota or Colorado, we drove. My mom was not a great flyer, so it was But honestly, now looking back, it was a great time with family. Yeah. It was really nice.
It's some fun road trips.
Yeah.
Although I heard it's kind of boring.
It is. It's very flat, but, we always try to play games in the car or, listen to music, and watch movies, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Amazing. So I read also that John Cook, when he came to visit you once at your high school, after the game ended, you stayed and basically shook everyone's hand.
Yeah.
Where did you find that humbleness in your personality? Where did that come from?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, kudos to my parents. I mean, they always just said, always think whoever to come. And that was ingrained from the very beginning. And so, and I also think my parents did such a good job. Like sometimes my stepdad was trying to get my mom out of the building because she was just chatting it up with somebody. So I think it's just something that they've really tried to ingrain in me from a young age. And I just also think that people are taking time out of their day to come watch, and, showing appreciation for that is huge. And I didn't even know this, but my dad said that the generation before, like my grandpa never really attended any of his game. Like it was, I think obviously they were farming and doing all these things. So, and my grandpa never missed a game of mine. So it's just even, I don't know, just even more appreciation that they're taking time out of their schedule to be there and to be present and support me and my dreams. So
that's so really mature and selfless of you. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Nebraska's special in that I think we just have, really just good people and people that care. And I don't know, just showing that is huge. So I don't know, I've always just tried to keep that too in the forefront as my career has gone on of, you're going to meet a lot of different people. And my mom was just very about like being a sponge, like taking it all in and just enjoying the moment. And so I've really tried to keep that in the back of my mind of really how I wanted to be and to be a good teammate and all that stuff. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So you joined Nebraska in 2005 and then 2006 you win a title.
Yes.
What was that like going from, small town, high school, dominant player, amazing player, but then going to like college and then so fast winning a title?
Yeah, still so surreal. I think what was humbling for me was that my freshman year, I only had one kill in the final. I was like, okay, Jordan, we got to do better. But it was, obviously the team was great. And I think we learned a lot of lessons that year in 2005 and how we wanted to be better going into 2006. And I think we made a lot of great changes, and culturally we were just very sound. Just growing up in a small town and being able to represent my little small town, but also the state was huge and a huge honor. And it's still one of my favorite memories of all time.
So when did the nickname the Governor come into play?
Yeah, that was a little bit further after college.
Okay.
It was like my second year in the national team. We were in Thailand and the games are finished, and like a guy is standing at the end with a red shirt on, like waving me down. And Faluka's like, Faluka is one of my ex-teammates, one of my really good friends. And the guy was there and he's like, I know your dad. And like, he's from Nebraska. And like, Faluka's like, seriously? Like, we're all the way in Thailand. Like, and so she's telling this story to her brother. And her brother's like, well, of course, she's the governor. And Faluka's really good with nicknames. And so good that like you have to start responding because so every day after practice, she's like the governor, gummy. Like, and finally I like changed my Instagram handle as a joke. And now I can't really change it. Now if I try to change it, it's like contact Instagram. And I'm just like a hassle. It's just, but now it's just become kind of funny. I actually saw the governor of Nebraska like 2 months ago and he's like, governor? And I was like, this is weird.
That's
it's so funny. So it's now become, kind of a thing.
I love that. That's such a good nickname first off. That it's stuck and that the governor of Nebraska is like all of that is just amazing.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny.
So when you were in Nebraska, when did you know you wanted to go pro? And when did you know that you were going to take this next step?
Yeah, so when I was 12, I actually set 3 goals. I wanted to start in high school. I wanted to go to college to play volleyball. And then I think even at that age, I was walking around saying like, I'm going to be an Olympian.
You're like Keith Clark.
Yeah. And I don't know at that time if I knew what that meant. But I think when I got to college, like that was always kind of, Coach Cook always knew that was a goal of mine. And I think he did a really good job of like, kind of keeping that as a reminder, like as far as, certain behaviors or technical things that I was doing, he was like, hey, this can lead you down to where you want to be, and I just always appreciated that as a reminder of just like, it may be hard now, but like where you want to go, it's going to be worth it. So I think, I've always had that dream, but I think going to college helped kind of build those stepping stones to like the next level.
So you graduated in 2008.
Correct.
Yep,
December.
Yep. I mean, I've talked to a bunch of the girls on the team right now, and, a lot of them graduated in the teens, late teens, and went pro. So this is 2008. This is 10 years before that.
Correct.
About What was it like to go pro at that time?
Yeah, it was still just so much unknown. Actually, I remember asking one of our alumni, Nancy Metcalf. She was kind of one that Allison Weston had been on the national team before, but I didn't have a connection to her per se, 'cause she was a little bit older than me. But Nancy was kind of in and around and still playing pro and coming back, that she was present enough that I could ask a lot of questions. And again, I think the navigating of information just wasn't there. It was like, oh, what do we think of this team? And, there's just not a lot of information. So
no Facebook to talk to agents.
Exactly. Nothing really connecting. And so I think learning from her and kind of just general questions to ask, even contract stuff and things, really helped me set a foundation of like, all right, what are we getting into? And then how can we go from here? So not going to lie, it was scary. Like I said, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't have left Nebraska. I was just I was a homebody. And so my parents and, had a great support system to kind of help me navigate that. But there were still a lot of unknowns at that time. So I'm grateful for now. Now it's unbelievable. It's cool to see how much information is out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I also saw that, I guess, in 2009, AVP was trying to recruit you to play beach. Is this true?
Yeah, well, they were doing like an indoor beach series. So they were doing like a travel thing. And so they actually came to Omaha and did an indoor beach series. And I remember going and watching and thinking that was an option. And the one thing about beach, I think that's also evolved over time. But then it was just really hard to make a living. It was like you had to play and then have a second job. And I just didn't know if that was for me at that moment. And so that made that decision pretty easy, that I really just wanted to commit to pro and then national team indoor and then see where that took me. But I'm still kind of intrigued, but I'm like, what? Beach, you never know.
I was going to say, is beach maybe it's still in your future?
I don't know.
Something you might do?
When did Karch, officially move from indoor to beach? He was older, so I'm kind of like, well, I don't know. You never close the door. So we'll see. I'm not making any promises.
Just, floating
yeah, exactly. Just got to throw that out there. I'm guessing.
So I want to talk about the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah.
I guess 2021, Tokyo. At this time, you had been to 2 other Olympics before. You won silver, you won a bronze, and now you're at your 3rd Olympics. But a lot of these girls on your team, it was their first time.
Yep.
So what was it like kind of being, this queen, the veteran, with these girls who idolized you and used to watch you play and playing together at this team?
Oh, I'm getting chills thinking about it. I still can't believe it, honestly. It's I don't even know how to put it into words, because it's the way we went about it. I think if you would ask the majority of us in 2020 if the Olympics were at the time, I don't know if we would have been ready. But I think with COVID, it allowed us time and clarity to have a lot of conversation and how to build a culture that we desired and wanted. And it gave us a lot of clarity that when we did come back in the gym in 2021, we all knew exactly what we had to do to execute. And you couldn't have written a better story. It just played out exactly, but we all knew exactly what it was going to be. And I don't know, and how we went about just the Olympic Games, right? Going 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, quarterfinal, something I don't even know if that's maybe happened one more time in history. It's crazy. So, but I'm just really proud of how we kind of set a precedent of how we wanted to be in the gym, and then you just see the result at the end. But I think all of us, well, yes, winning a gold medal is huge. I think we all just resonate with the process that it took to get there. And for me, it was just icing on the cake. It was you feel like you're doing the right thing, and you come up short a couple times, and then you feel like you get another chance. You're like, all right, literally, I've done everything. So, if I don't get it, it is what it is, So it's, it's really special. So.
Did you have an idea, going into that gold medal match that, this was the year?
Yeah. I definitely, but I was so emotional. I took a shower that morning, crying in the shower. I was seeing one of my best friends, Feluca, that it was going to be my last time, playing with her, we're driving into the gold. I'm looking over her, bawling, and she's like, "What are you doing? We're about to go play for a gold medal." And I'm just I don't know. I felt something that I was this is it. I knew that I was going to leave it all. I'm always like that, but just, it was this is it. And so, it just really was, just beautiful, honestly.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah, icing. Yeah.
You had said that, this was winning the gold medal was kind of your way of proving people who said you're playing, why is she still playing?
Yes, exactly.
So how did it make you feel when you did actually win this, being, you know, older than a lot of the other girls?
Yeah. I think it validated that you can stay in it longer than you ever expected. I think what's hard is like, as a female, you know, this desire to have a family, it's like kind of this teeter-totter of, you know, the timing of that and like how to get back. And, you know, I think there's just a lot of questions on the female side of all those things. So, but I think if you know, do things right, or, you know, some people don't have the control of maybe injury or things like that. But I think, you know, getting after it in the weight room, nutrition, like all these things can lead into, you know, really longevity and
Nutrition like pancakes.
Exactly. No, but I just think that like taking care of your body and understanding, but a lot of it's mindset. It's really like, if I could tell anybody that's starting out or even in the trenches of like how to be a high performer, like mental performance, sports psychology, like it is what your brain can control in a situation is huge, and what you tell yourself. So, I mean, I felt like I was still in really good shape in Tokyo, probably the best shape I've ever been in, but a lot too was mindset of like overcoming body aches and all those things, like was very real. So, but my mind was strong, and also the support around me was huge. So,
well, I mean, a lot of athletes are playing longer these days. I mean, you got LeBron James, he's 39.
Yep.
Serena Williams retired at 41.
Yep.
Tom Brady retired at 45.
Exactly.
But like that's a long career for these, and so I mean minus Serena, but she's the lateral movements in tennis and stuff. But you know, contact sports and everything, and volleyball, the jumping, the knees, and everything like that. So, what do you say to the people who do say you're too old?
Yeah, I mean, it's warranted. I get it. You know, I understand, and I never thought that I would be in it this long. To be honest, I joke that I was like not judging people, but I was like, what else are you doing? Like, what are you doing, you know, with your life to some degree? But I don't know. I still love it. And I still enjoy coming to work every day. And everybody that has retired, they're like, I wish I would have stayed in it longer. So I'm kind of like, if I can still do it at the level that I want to do it, why not? And I don't know. And I'm finding little ways to like do things differently. And now it's more of how can I help the next generation? And how can I, you know, I feel like this defending of not of what we won, because I think that you can get caught up in results and all that stuff, but defending on how we went about it. And that's learning how to be a good teammate, like showing up for one another. Because the USA Gym is really competitive. You know, we're training with 30 at times, you know, and people are constantly changing. And so how do we create a standard that's, you know, that shows the way and how to do it? So that's kind of really where the role I've taken on is just learning and helping these younger kids coming in the gym is kind of where I find my happiness.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I just listened to a podcast with Billie Jean King, and she had this line where she said, leaders don't choose followers, followers choose leaders.
Oh, wow.
Right? Very poignant. I was like, Billie Jean. But, you know, you're a leader.
Yeah.
So what do you think through your career, how did you find that leadership inside you? How did you manage to, you know, let your followers come to you, right?
Yeah. I would say it's definitely evolved over time, and I've had to continue to learn. I think early on in my career was lead by example, and I still think I kind of cater to that side of it. But learning now how to flex my voice and kind of being able to articulate like what I see and how I see it, I think that has been huge. But I think just I was talking to the girls a little bit today of just like, I always keep in the back of my mind, like legacy. Like when I step away, like how do I want to feel internally of how I approached every day and how I tried to do the best I could personally, but then also how I could help those around me, and keeping that always in the forefront. Because when I step away, whenever that is, I want to know like how people thought of my time and the time that I gave to the sport. So that's really where a lot of my motivation has come from. But, and I think leader is always such a heavy word because you don't think of it in the moment, you know, you're just doing your job and you're showing up and trying to be the best you can. So, yeah, but it's been a fun process trying to learn. And I've just had so many examples before me of like just true, honest leadership and kind of understanding what they do and how they do, and then how can I still be true to me and authentic to me, because that's important as well.
Have you ever had any doubt as a leader?
Jeez. Oh, yeah. Girl, doubt is like my, I'm an overthinker. I'm a Libra. I don't know, right?
Yep.
You and I don't know. I was like, I like overthink to overthink, you know?
Yeah.
But it's
Trying to find the balance.
Exactly. But I think it's always also keep me in check. I think this general curiosity of how to get better is huge for me. And, but sometimes I can't sit in that for too long because I feel like that I'm just remaining and I need to be like learning something or doing something. And so, I think that doubt is a real thing. And I also encourage athletes today, like fear and doubt and anxiety in game, like it all normal. We all have it, right? Like if someone tells you they don't, then for me, they're not like real, right? Because it's like all those emotions come, but you just get better at managing as you get older. So it's being able to acknowledge the fear or acknowledge the emotion and then be able to not sit in it, but move through it. So
in similar vein, how have you handled burnout? Because playing for so long, I'm sure at some point hit you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I still think that I'm like living my dream. Like at the end of the day, like I always try to come back to that of just like, it's hit me at times. And especially I think overseas was definitely tougher. But I don't know, I just love competition. I love getting after it every day. So I just keep pushing on. So, yeah.
So, I'm going to paraphrase Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso here for a second. And for you, I feel like volleyball is life, right? But I know you do other things.
Yes. Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do when you're not on the court? What is the Jordan Larson fun day, off day?
Yeah. Volleyball is life for me. It really is. I could watch it all the time and talk about it all the time. But I do think that the high performance side of like the mental capacity, just even... I love getting to know other people's, like what makes them tick, like having those conversations, like really like inspire me. I like to golf. I enjoy just having nice dinners with family and friends, like just sharing time. Like we could be doing anything. I'm a pretty go with the flow kind of person. And so I kind of have fun doing pretty much everything. So that's kind of where I spend my time.
Nice dinners, less about the food, more about the company?
Correct. Yeah. But I also I'm all about like a bougie. I'm a little bougie.
You gotta have a bougie.
I know.
Treat
I'm like
yourself.
Also like a good, like I've had Nobu a couple times. Unbelievable sushi. It's like with that experience.
Their black cod.
Oh my God. It's amazing. But then they can take you through this whole experience. You don't know what you're going to get. Like that is, sign me up. Yeah, that's me.
So golf, are you good?
Yes. I would like to say I'm like decent. Like I golf with some guy friends and they always give me like a stroke a hole. So, I mean, I'm not like, like I feel like that's okay. So but for me, it's also just going out and like just enjoying the course and having a few drinks and, more just, it's not the competitive side really of me that comes out. It's more of just like, I'm out here just to have a good time. Mm-hmm. So, I also love golf. Yeah. Now I play for putts. Have you ever done that? Which kind of makes it a little more fun. One of my families do that. One of my family members does that where you all get to the green and then you count how many putts and then at the end you like
I would lose every time.
Putting's not the way for you.
No, sometimes I mark my hole as an infinity because I won't even finish putting.
I've done that a few times too. Yes. So no, but and when the weather's beautiful, it's like the best time. So
have you been able to play different courses around the world?
Yeah, not around the world yet.
The country?
Yeah, no, just around the country a little bit. Mainly in California, a couple in Nebraska. I want to expand though. That is one thing that I really love to do and would love to continue to do. So, and COVID it was the only sport you really could do. So I was like, I think going out like 4 times a week. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
And you could walk. It was a great workout. Like, could touch pin, but that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get out to Hawaii and try to play.
Really?
Yes.
It's good. Okay.
I've only played one course, Poipu, but gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. And I mean, it's Hawaii.
Yeah, right?
I can't go wrong there.
Than that. Yeah. I also love a good spa day. Like, I'm like self-care, just like give me a facial massage, pool. Like, that's my time. Yeah.
I love it.
So, yeah.
Do you like to read?
I've tried. It's something I'm like, let me just buy this book and I'm gonna read like the first 2 chapters and then even audio sometimes I'm like I can't really get into it. So more podcasts maybe, but I'm even that still like I'm addicted to this the swiping, scrolling, that's my like, it's an able for me to like kind of check out, because I was actually talking to this one of our nutritionists the other day, because I was like, the mental load that it takes to play at a high level is more intense than people think, and so sometimes I just get home and I just like can't like think, like I'm just like, so this is just not thinking. So
meditative.
Yeah, and it's so bad for you, but
yeah,
it's just my kryptonite, I guess, of wives. So.
Well, going back to volleyball, so you are now coaching at your alma mater. What's that like?
Oh, it's been so fun. And I think the best part is like seeing these girls, like I think of myself at that time and what I was kind of going through, and seeing them execute and them being just absolutely elated is like the best feeling. And just seeing them do so well has been so fun. And I think going back to, and like a lot of people in the athletic department are still from when I was there, which is cool to like now be in a different kind of role and see them as, I don't know, I'm not the young, immature Jordan anymore, they're like, oh my gosh, you're all grown up. So I think it's been really full circle moment for me. And obviously just Husker Nation is unreal. It's the greatest thing. And the support that the community has in the state is just unmatched. So I really feel lucky that John is also allowing me to do all these other things and kind of get my hands in everything. But I'm learning and growing, and I love it so much.
So NIL is obviously a big difference from when you played back in college. But how else have you seen the sport evolve at the college level, even at the club level? And what's still the same?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot has changed. Like you said, NIL is changing the space, which is cool. It's interesting, but it's also adding another layer of stress for our athletes, and helping them manage that as well has been huge. But the club scene, I mean, unreal to see the amount of just athletes playing. Like I know a couple club directors in our area that are like 45 and 50 teams. Like that is insane. What? Yeah, it's insane. And I'm just like, back then it was like you had like one age division and a second team, and like that was it. Now they're like 5 or 6 deep, and then like another actual like session for more athletes to play. I don't know. It's just it's really, really encouraging. And I also think the pro scene that's coming on is huge. It's just getting more eyeballs on a sport that we all love. So it's amazing to see.
Yeah, and all the opportunity that's out there. I mean, were you at the Nebraska?
I wasn't. Volleyball day?
Yeah, the world record. No. Where were you?
Well, I was in Canada. We were playing for the national team, but we watched it. Me and Justine and some of the Nebraska girls were there as well. So, but unbelievably special. And I mean, gosh, what that did for women's sports, like. I had texts from all over the world, my friends, and they're like, what's happening in Nebraska? I'm like, it's just what we do.
Just 90,000 people probably in a stadium to watch college volleyball.
Exactly. But people that were there said it was just absolutely moving. And and to happen in where the place I grew up is even special.
Could you have ever imagined that when you played?
No. Oh my gosh. No. I remember even at that time, Final Four was like 16,000, and that was huge, And so like to even show that, but it just shows like anything's possible. And again, I think the wave of women's sports right now is huge. I mean, what Kayla Clark is doing on the women's basketball side, and it's really, really cool. So I hope that, people keep watching and just investing in us. It's really a privilege.
Well, now you get to play here in the States, founding athlete of LOVB Omaha. I mean, how does it feel to actually be playing here now?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. We actually had a dinner. Our national team kind of got all back together, and everybody's saying like, I'm staying home. Like, it's so surreal. And I think all of us don't have to say goodbye. I think it's hard. We all say goodbye for 7 months, and then we're coming back together. And now it's like, I get to see you next weekend. Like it's so nice. And I know all of us are just so excited for our families and friends to be able to watch us in person. And it's also going to take an adjustment, right? Like I think about, family and friends only coming to major events like Olympic Games. And so the fact that they get to see me like live is huge. So I'm really excited. And especially in the Nebraska community, like fantastic.
And now that you're going to be able to play here in the States, what are you looking forward to doing? Other interests that you're hoping to pursue while you're here?
Yeah. I think just more diving deep in the community, and how can we continue to gain access to high-level volleyball and high-level coaching. I think that now we have platforms and are continuing to breed more platforms of like how to get more efficient with what we do and continue to grow the game. And so just diving more in the community and how I can help, I think that's really where my heart is. And it's really cool to see that a lot of people just love the game and want to continue to grow the game. So I have a lot more coming on, but we're going to kind of keep that at least till after the Olympics. Maybe you can announce some other things going on. So I know.
Right. Now, like I said at the beginning, you have had an amazing career. Your career is not done yet.
Yep.
But if you could give advice to your 12-year-old self, what would it be?
Oh, goodness. I think the advice I would give to my 12-year-old self would probably be I think there was times that I allowed stress to kind of overcome me, that it almost blinded me for other areas of where I could remain present. Like I would think I was so like, when they're doing the horse race, like Kentucky Derby was just like, right, the blinders, right? Like I felt like at times I was a lot like that versus like opening myself up to other areas of how I can, I was always looking to improve, but other ways of even connecting with teammates and doing like, I think more enjoyment of the process versus not so much outcome-based. I think early on in my career, I think would have changed even more the depth of love I have for the game.
So I know I brought this up before that you've had an amazing career, but your career is not done yet. But you've seen the sport evolve from 2005 to today. But where do you hope the sport goes in 5-10 years from now?
Yeah, I just think obviously I hope the love of the game in the States continues to grow, and we can continue to have our girls stay home and continue to grow that. And I also think the speed I think we're playing a lot like the men play. And so I hope that we can continue to evolve that as well. So
love it. Well, Jen, thank you so much. I got to cheers.
Cheers, yes.
I'm so happy that you were able to chat with me and have some pancakes.
You gotta tap.
We're doing that. We're doing the official
Italian thing.
Thanks for watching Serving Pancakes. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. You can also listen to the podcast version on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.